Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Vacation Station Travel and Leisure Show. Welcome, everyone. It is time to go traveling with Cheryl Ogle. Cheryl is on our show all the time, telling us all kinds of places to go and visit, telling us about those places, and sharing tips. And today, she is going to share travel hacks on how to save money while traveling. She's got a great blog all about it. The link is in the episode notes, and you can go to heywannago.com. So, welcome back, travel advisor Cheryl.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You got some advice for us today. Some good advice for sure. I was reading your blog.
And it's
I'm like,
funny because technically
amazing.
in my role, I'm considered a saleswoman. And
Yeah.
I don't see myself that way because I feel like salespeople are trying to stick it to you and take more money and spend money. And I love a good commission, that's for sure. But I've got a budget. I live on a budget. I travel on a budget, and
Mhm.
I want to share those tips to make travel realistic for people because I
Yeah.
grew up. I had grandparents. They traveled the world, and they had money. And so I figure when you're old and you're rich, you can travel. But I'm getting old, but I will probably never be rich, and so I'm not going to sit around and not travel. So I found some
Well, yeah.
hacks that I want to
These are
share.
good because also, when you save on something that is not necessary, right? Like you don't have to eat out all the time, and
No,
you save a little bit on that, it may give you that luxury room that you've been dreaming of for a night or something.
right,
So, you know what I
right.
mean? So that money could go towards your travels, or like you said, make it possible to travel. So, again, everyone, this is so much good information today. Let's start with luggage. I like this because the
Yes.
luggage, yes. In fact, I have a friend who's in Europe right now, and she lost her passport between flights. They got her flights, and now they managed to get her passport overnighted or something. I don't know how this all worked. Now she's in Europe, and of course, her luggage is not with her.
I have clients right now, 3 clients in Florence, and their luggage has not found them just yet. They're hoping that it comes
Okay.
to Rome tomorrow. So,
So, in other words, we don't need to have the big fancy luggage because he may not
if you
see
have
it.
if you have a cheap Walmart bag or you have a $300 name brand bag, they can all get lost.
Mm,
So that does not protect you from lost luggage. And
okay.
there is a time if you think I want to purchase this one time, um, save up and buy the good bag. Find one that
Mhm.
has a lifetime warranty, and so they're going to replace a wheel that gets broken or things like that. There is a place and a time to do that for sure. So I'm not dissing the high end with the good warranties at all. But if you don't have $200 or $300 for a bag, um, buy the best bag you can for $50 or $60. TJ Maxx, Ross, those kinds of places, Home
Mm,
Goods. Well, I don't know about Home Goods, but those kinds of places do have some name brand luggage, American Tourister, Samsonite, things like that. Buy the
mm.
best bag you can that meets your needs.
I remember Samsonite always being like the top of, the top kind of thing to do. I'm going back when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
that was a long time ago. I don't know how they're rated now, but yeah, I mean the bag thing's important because they can get lost. Do you buy locks for your luggage?
The bags that I have all have TSA approved locks. Now keep in
Mm,
mind that TSA is only in the US. So if you're in Europe and you have your bag locked and they need to open it, which is not very often, but if there's something that looks suspicious in there and they need to open it, you've checked it and they're trying to open it, they may have to break the lock. So I
okay.
have not experienced that. My clients have not experienced that, but it is
Mm,
something that could happen because TSA, if it's TSA approved, they've got a little tool, it's probably a bobby pin that they can stick in and pop it open, no problem
mm.
in the States. But if you're in London, if you're in Paris, you're somewhere else and they need to open it, it could get broken.
And so apparently you don't like to buy black luggage.
I do not because 90% of the bags out there seem to be black. And if you've checked your bag and you're watching them go around on the carousel, you're watching for your bag. When they all look alike, it's hard to find yours. So mine is the ugliest color ever. It's this golden gold. It's awful, but I can see it coming off. It's like, oh yeah, there's my bag coming. And I'm not
Okay.
sifting through a bunch of 22, 24-inch black bags that all look identical. So
Okay, then that brings us to size. Size matters in this context, right? Is how big, how
size matters.
small matters about what you're doing with your luggage.
Exactly. I like a 24-inch. It's bigger than carry-on. And if I'm doing a long trip with different climates, then that, and especially in the winter, because winter clothes take up more room. So I need
Mm,
a little larger bag. Plus, I always pack a tote that folds up and then it opens up into a big bag because I like to shop for clothes while I'm in Europe. I'm
mm-hmm.
not a shopper, but when I'm in Europe, that's where I want to get my next season's clothes from. And so I have an extra bag that I will then pull out and fill. Um,
Oh,
I know, but
but
that's
at the
okay.
same,
So 24-inch, and I'm actually looking for a little bit smaller, but I haven't found the perfect one yet because it needs to be all the right dimensions, and I'm not going to buy it until I find it. So
and then you also talk about the fact of, your clothes should really kind of all connect together, like what you're
yes.
wearing, what you're clothing,
Mhm.
have it so that, just you're changing scarves every day kind of thing.
Yeah. Pick one. I mean, I wear a lot of pinks. I wear a lot of pinks, blacks, grays, and whites, and that carries over when I travel too, because I want to make
Mm,
sure everything can mix and match, and I can wear this
mm,
same top with my blue jeans or with my black slacks or gray pants or whatever. And so that makes it a lot easier because then it's multiple outfits instead of a one-time shirt or
mm,
pants that have some outrageous, well, I don't wear pants with the pattern, but if they did, that you can't
yeah,
wear any other time or with anything else. Make sure things kind of coordinate. And that goes too
mm.
with jewelry. I don't travel with a lot of jewelry. So I wear, one little solitaire and solitaire earrings, and that's it now.
It keeps it
So,
easier, but also saves you money. And I know some people just go buy a whole wardrobe before they travel. And again, I look at it as like if you lose your luggage, you that gives you, an opportunity to go do that shop in a different country, which is fun. You know what I mean?
yeah, my
Um,
clients just, yeah, one of them just bought new shoes in Florence and they're beautiful leather shoes. I'm sure they are. So, and travel insurance is picking, they're not crazy
oh,
expensive. But when they left the US on Sunday and we're on Wednesday now.
yeah.
They haven't seen luggage yet. So,
Mm. This is a good point. Travel insurance, which we talked about last time, and
mhm,
everyone, you know what? I'm going to link that in the episode notes for folks
okay.
because the insurance is actually something. If we talk about saving money, this is one of the first things to help you
Right.
save money is travel insurance when something goes wrong. Like, you're saying that she got to get, Italian leather shoes. I mean, come on, you can't beat
Right.
that,
But
right?
it's a necessity. If your bags are delayed 24 hours or so, you've got to go buy an outfit and a toothbrush
Hmm.
and, maybe ladies even want a lipstick, I mean, so you've got to go buy some basics. Insurance is not going to cover you to go to the designer stores and spend thousands of dollars. They're going to laugh at those receipts. But if you're at a reasonable store and
Hmm.
you're buying a few reasonable things, that's absolutely going to be reimbursed. So travel insurance
Okay.
could save you money. So
Yeah, that's a good thing. And then clothing wise, it's you want to be comfortable. So you don't need to buy new clothes that you might not wear, every day kind of thing, right?
yeah. Yeah. Make sure you've tried it out. And I don't mean just tried it on and said, oh, this fits, but make sure you've worn it for a day and it doesn't have that weird tag or, oh, I hate this material or, things like that we all deal with.
Mm,
And so make sure it's
yeah,
something that you like that is going to be a part of your wardrobe if you're buying something new to take on a
especially
trip.
shoes. Shoes. You don't like, you think you buy a new pair of sneakers and trying to wear them, get
Don't
no.
do it. Don't do it. And I want to be one of these people who can wear the cute little Chelsea boots and things. I returned 3 pairs yesterday to Amazon. I'm like $150 worth.
Wow.
I just don't like boots. They hurt my feet and I put them on in my living room and I walk around and I didn't take 10 steps before I knew, yeah, ain't no way these are going anywhere with me. They're going back to the Amazon. Um, I just apparently cannot wear cute shoes. So it's going to be me and my clunky old lady Clarks, and I don't even care because my feet are going to be happy. So
Well,
that's that.
I'm with you. I'm like
But
always in
certainly don't buy
sneakers.
new shoes before a trip without breaking them in and know that
Yeah.
you can walk 20 hours a day in those shoes. So
I'm terrible about it because once something's comfy, like that I'll just keep wearing them.
oh
Like
yeah.
that becomes the pair of shoes because
Yep. That's my Skechers slip-ons that I got in London for like $140, but I wear them all the time. My feet don't scream in them, but they're not going to work for my next trip. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to have, what I'm going to be wearing
Uh-oh, she's gonna
in a
go
month, but it will
shopping.
not be cute little boots. That much I know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So speaking of shopping, we want to get to transfers and things like that, but we talked about clothing, but what about electronics? Because that's, uh, yeah, that's a whole thing.
I love electronics and I love gadgets, and I see the
You
ads that come
do.
through on my Instagram and I go, well, I need that clearly. And I don't. And I have all the little things. Don't get caught up in that. I've got a cat who's walking in the screen. I'm
She knows
sorry.
she's a, it's Koozie, the queen of
Cattail
lemons.
here. Um, keeping it professional here.
And it's not the
Um,
first time she's done that
no, Cusco makes an appearance. Um, but don't get caught up in thinking that you need everything. You don't. You need a
Yeah.
good phone charger, bring an extra cable, maybe an extra plug. You need an adapter for whatever country that you're going to, and it's an adapter,
Okay.
not a converter. You most cases, I've never used my converter. It's never been out of the box in the 9 years that I've owned it. So you need an
Okay.
adapter, but other than having an extra phone cable, which I think is smart because they do die even, and you can leave them in a room or in an airplane or whatever, but you don't need everything. And I
Mm,
have a little zipper bag that's black and white striped, so it's easily identifiable. All of my electronics go in there. So, and then that goes in my backpack. So it's always with me. So when I get on a plane, I know I want that out, and that has my earbuds. It has my wired
mm,
earbuds. It has my cable. It has, I even throw some cough drops in there just because I always keep it close at hand.
mm.
So that's
Okay, so
what I do
don't
when
go,
I'm
don't,
traveling.
yeah. I mean, even hair dryers and things like that, you can use them at the hotel. Just use the
Exactly. Our
hotels
hair
instead.
dryers can't handle their wattage, so don't do that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like Europe is different. I remember, yeah. And then people would go and say, okay, I'm taking this and then buying an adapter just for the hair dryer, which is a waste of money because you,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And even things like flat irons and curling irons, you have to double check that they are dual voltage. If they don't
Mm,
say dual voltage, they're not. And you'll fry them. You may fry part of the hotel. I mean, it's not good. And it also singes your hair.
mm. Oh, okay.
Ask
Well,
me
there
how I
you
know
go.
this. That's right. Yeah. First time abroad that I thought, well, I can straighten my hair. And it was like, oh no, it's crumbling off. It was not good.
Oh,
I've learned a lot
ooh,
since then. And so I did invest in the UK. I invested in a nice straight iron, and that
okay.
is UK. And in fact, I just loaned it out. I've got more clients heading to Tuscany this week. And she said, I need to get a straightener. I go, wait, you can borrow mine, bring it back. So,
Oh,
um,
that's cool.
yeah.
That's
And
sweet
so
of
if you're
you.
going to travel often, you may want to invest in one, but if not, you know what, it's
Mm,
fine. And evaluate your season. My next trip is in December, and I'm going to wear a hat, all day, every day, except for dinner at night. So
yeah,
who
yeah,
really cares?
exactly.
So,
Yeah, and that is it too. I mean, I mean, if you're there for Fashion Week, it may be different, you know.
yeah,
That may be a little different. Well,
exactly. But yeah,
yeah, you want to
minimize.
save money on things. Now, phones. Let's talk about phones because that's another cost when we look at shopping and what to get. It's like I know when, I deal with a lot of people internationally all the time, and it's like to me, just use WhatsApp It's for communication a lot
Yeah.
of times, right? But do you get like an extra SIM card or something like that when you travel internationally?
I have done that, and I've got the European SIM card, which is great because then you're buying maybe 20 gigs of data in a 30-day period, and it has been plenty. The problem with that in most cases, not all of them, but in most cases, you then have a phone number associated with that SIM card. So the last time I did it, I think my number was a French number. And so the numbers coming through to my regular phone were not coming through, which I knew ahead of time. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had to give all my kids and my family, but I have clients who reach me on my personal number as well. And so for me, at the end of the day, when I'm in Wi-Fi, I was having to swap out SIMs real quick and just see, do I have messages to the other? For my purposes, that did not work. If you're not trying to juggle 3 different phone numbers and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great savings.
Mm-hmm.
I know there is one. I can't remember what it's called, Air Glow or Air Low or
Mm,
something like that, that has your same phone number. I have not used it, so I really can't speak to that.
mm,
But you can also use with your provider, I think AT&T is $12 a day, with a cap of 100 or 120 a month, or
mm.
per billing cycle, and then you use your phone just like you do at home. So that
Okay.
may be worth it. And then I have clients who say, absolutely not, we want to disconnect. And our
Yeah.
and we'll use WhatsApp, which is free, and the kids have WhatsApp. And so if there's a family emergency, they can get a hold of mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. But it just, everyone's different. I also like to have maps with me. And so I end up paying a little bit more. I did just change phone providers, and that has cut my costs significantly.
Mm.
And I'm hoping it works internationally as well as it's supposed to. So we'll know
We'll
soon.
find out. We'll
Yeah,
find out.
we'll find
The
out.
great test, the great test of it. Well, no, we use a lot. It's Wi-Fi is it's like a godsend because you can still even make calls through Wi-Fi, but I don't know
Exactly.
internationally with that, but
You
um
can, and I use,
WhatsApp with
I
that,
use
yeah.
WhatsApp, and then sometimes if people don't have WhatsApp, use Facebook Messenger or
Yep.
things like that. So there are, well, and if you're iPhone to iPhone, you can do FaceTime calls or Wi-Fi calling. So there are
Mm.
some other options as well that,
And Zoom even.
Mhm.
Hello, Zoom.
You've got Zoom, and I
Yeah,
don't even know if Skype
Google
still
Hangouts.
exists, but
Yeah,
back in the
yeah, I
day, it
think
was Skype. So yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah. So
there
I
are
mean
some
there
options that you can avoid
yeah.
paying that extra if you don't need to.
I would also say make sure you get protection uh like a protective case for your phone when you start traveling around because things happen, you know,
Things happen.
especially when you're in a hurry. Things can happen. And
Oh,
also
yeah.
take photographs of your passport and things like that on your phone. I think that's
Yep.
important.
And email that to yourself as well. So you have
Mhm,
access to your passport electronically if you lose your phone. And one thing that I'm telling clients, and I know it looks ridiculous, but you take your phone and you buy the little lanyard and it sticks in your phone and you can wear it, or if nothing else, you can have it tied a knot in your purse or
mhm,
something. I did have a friend in Barcelona whose phone was snatched,
mm.
and he had, the person who snatched it dropped it, and she recovered it. I'm sure it's quite a great video if anyone caught that. But you think losing your phone in another country? I mean, my
Mm.
life is in my phone. So
Right. I mean, that's the thing. And make sure you've got it password protected if you can. So
exactly.
people can't, if they steal it, they can't get all your data, right? If you've got that and you can shift it, kind of like,
Well, they can, yeah, they can get to it pretty quickly, but if you have passwords on it, it will slow them down.
mhm.
So,
You
and
want
be
to do whatever
careful
you
about
can
what
to
you
slow them
store
down.
on there, or your, I go back and forth on using my face. Is that good for login? But I think, well, if it's a banking app and they have to have my face, they can't get in any other way. So, but I do
Yeah.
think it's kind of creepy how much,
Yeah, it is getting weird,
I
isn't
don't
it?
know. That's a whole
I
nother show.
know. Well, I do that with my computer. I make faces at it and see if it's like, are you going to recognize me today? Apparently,
And
I still
mine
have
will
the
not,
same
yeah.
lines.
Yeah, no, mine won't recognize my face, and about half the time it'll recognize my fingerprint, and others I'm like, no, really, it's still me. Okay, your password? Sure, I got that.
Yeah,
So,
apparently it's like brush your hair. They don't may recognize it. That's what it does to me. It's like,
yeah,
no, you've got an extra wrinkle again. We don't recognize.
I know those are, yeah, no wonder
Like
my laptop doesn't recognize me.
it's funny though. I mean, but and I think also, just even the cell phones. I was talking to a lady who just went to Paris, a different lady, and she went to this, huge market. There's some famous market in Paris, and don't ask me to pronounce anything there.
Yeah,
But
same.
she's like, you could get antiques from this, you could get, fruits and vegetables, like everything, and all the way to stolen cell phones. Like you could buy stolen cell phones, and I'm like, really? Then I'm going, that's kind of a market out there, isn't it? So, well, she saved a lot of money. She stayed in an Airbnb with friends and they went grocery shopping and made food from local produce, and it was part of what they wanted to do. One is a chef, so that
Yes.
helps. But that way
Mhm.
they felt like they were becoming Parisian. They were living like Parisians,
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's you talk about that in your blog about going to you don't always have to go out to eat. Invent Actually, your body doesn't want you to go out to eat every day.
Oh. No, because it's so rich, and I love a good meal, but it's so rich, it's expensive, it takes time. And then you come home and you've gained 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and you're like, oh my gosh, what did
Mm,
I do? Because at home, I think most of us adults eat like adults. And so we travel and we just don't need to shock our bodies that way.
yeah.
Now we're not talking about cake. Sometimes you need a good piece of cake, but
We're
there
always going there, don't we?
I
Yep.
know. But if you look in a grocery store, often they'll have little takeaway things, just like our Sprouts and things do here. And you can go pick up a salad and
Hmm.
or sandwich or things like that. And so there are ways to cut down financially and with calories too. I don't eat a full meal and I don't eat 3 meals a day. I usually eat like 1.5 meals. And so
Hmm.
I don't want to spend 50 or more dollars a day on food that I'm not eating. And if
Hmm.
I'm out and about, I'm not taking home leftovers. So
Yeah.
when it makes sense, I want to be able to pop into a store and just get a little salad,
One
something like
thing
that.
too that is great is staying in a place that makes breakfast. Like
Mhm.
some hotels and bed and breakfast. That's what I love about bed and breakfast.
Yeah,
I'm terrible about breakfast, and then I'll forget. But when you're traveling and you're walking everywhere or doing activities, to have a nice full breakfast in the morning that someone else made for you,
right. It's
that's
even better.
pretty
Yeah,
cool. That's pretty cool. So
yeah.
I think that's also another way of doing it. Okay,
Yeah.
so medicine. We need to talk about that, taking medicine, because that could become a hassle
It
if you
can, and you've got to
yes.
evaluate what you take. I know a lot of people love those week-long medicine pill boxes, and most people use those. I've never had a client have it pulled out and inspected or anything, but technically, your medicine should be in the original bottles. If you take something that would be considered, I don't even know, like a controlled substance, a legal controlled substance, bring a copy of your prescription, a current copy
Mhm.
of your prescription. So if you if you take something that could raise an eyebrow somewhere, and then it goes without saying, don't pack. I don't care if gummies or anything like that's legal in your state. You do you. I don't care. Don't take it to another country. Don't even
Don't
take it
take
to
it
another
into
state if
another
it's not
state.
legal
Don't
there
take it to
either.
Texas. Don't take it to
Exactly.
Texas.
I mean, just don't travel with it. And so if
Even
you need
Willie
it
Nelson
medically,
got in trouble in his own state.
uh,
Well, he
I'm not
did.
sure that he cared, but
No, I know. I don't think so. I don't
and I
think
love
so.
Willie Nelson, so don't get me
You know,
wrong. But yeah,
no,
just think real carefully and don't, like I said, even if it's perfectly allowable in your own state, you don't travel with it. So,
uh,
and I've had to talk to some younger clients who may use gummies or smoke weed or whatever on their own time. That's fine, but when you're going to an all inclusive in Mexico, don't take it with you.
oh man, and it's not funny.
It's
That
not funny. No.
no, no. If you're going to Mexico and
I mean,
no,
toe the
oh
line
no.
of yeah, for travel. Just don't push those limits.
Every
There are
every
rules and laws
country
in place.
has a law, and you are in their country, and they will inflict their laws on you. Period.
Exactly.
And yeah, don't be that the ugly Americans.
No, I know, don't. That
I
privilege. Well,
didn't
I
want to
do it at
say it.
home and it's fine. I don't care what you do at home.
Yeah,
If it's
yeah,
legal, I don't care.
yeah,
But
that's your thing, but yeah, you can get yourself in trouble. But actually losing medication, it could
mm,
be costly, because now you're not going through your own, like that becomes an insurance thing, right, at times. And yeah, that could be messy. So you want to talk to your doctor and say, hey, I'm going here. Can you give me an extra refill or whatever? So it's not a
right.
hassle, right? Because that could
And
be
most, yeah,
costly.
most doctors will. My doctor will call in a Z pack, and I
Mm,
assure him I'm not. I know if I take it when I don't need it, I'm only hurting my own body, and so we have
yeah.
that mutual respect that I'm not eating antibiotics like candy, but I do want to have it in my bag because if I get a sinus infection that's not going away, I know what my body needs, and it
Mm,
needs a 5 day Z pack,
mm,
and so I'm
there you go.
saving it. So he will call that in for me as a courtesy. And so most will, within reason, but have a stash. Always keep that in your carry-on. Any meds. Don't
Yeah.
risk it because like these people who left the US on Sunday, we're now Wednesday, they may see their bag again tomorrow. If it's found, who knows? It's somewhere between Chicago and Florence. And these are 3 people with 3 bags. So if you have life-saving medicine that you need, that needs to be in your carry-on, in your purse or whatever. If you take a nightly blood pressure pill or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, keep that with
Yeah.
you.
And blood pressure, you don't want to mess with that too. If you try
No,
to go off of it, that's messy. You can
no.
get,
And that's true with a
the,
lot of meds. You don't just stop taking them.
mm-mm.
A lot, the GLP-1 products are very popular now for weight loss and for diabetics. And so they're, it's a vial and syringes. So if you're traveling with those, you need to tell security so they don't see a bunch of syringes in your bag and say, okay, ooh, pull this out.
Let
Let
me
them
see
know
your
ahead of
track
time
marks.
what they're
Yeah.
going to see.
Yeah.
They will screen it separately, but carry your prescription.
Mm,
Always have the prescription. Don't just have some random syringes because that does not look good.
mm.
And keep your product in your vial. Don't draw it up in your syringe. Travel with your
Okay.
vial. So,
Oh yeah, no, no, that would be, yeah, that could get messy and painful.
and
That,
painful, but it could also get confiscated if you're
okay.
traveling with a random container of shots with some random liquid
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah, that
So,
looks a little weird. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
no.
In closing, you talked about transfers. When you go back and forth from airports, etc.
Mhm.
Tell us a little bit about that because that could get pricey too. If you're just sometimes hotels give you free shuttles too, don't they?
Sometimes you don't see that as much in Europe. And so
Oh,
as you do here, if you're at an airport hotel or whatever, many of them have shuttles who will come to the airport and pick you up. That is not the case in Europe. So transfers, when you've gotten off the plane and you see people holding the iPad that says, Lisa Smith, welcome. There's your private transfer. Well, you're probably paying 100 or more, depending on the size of your party, for them to do that. And they'll walk with you to baggage claim. If you don't have your bag yet, pick up your bag and they take you straight to your hotel. And it is wonderful because it takes the guesswork out of it. It takes the whole, where do I find the Ubers and how much is a taxi going to be? And will you take my credit card and all of that? You pay for it though. And I have clients who say add transfers for everything. We're fine. And that's fine. And other people say, take every transfer off. We can't afford it. We'll take the tube
mm,
in from Heathrow, or we like public transportation. So
mm,
there's no one size fits all for
mm.
travelers. If you do it yourself, it will, you'll save money, but it's going to take some time and effort on your part. So yeah,
That's part of the adventure. Like I was telling you about this
yeah.
lady that I was talking to with her friends in Paris.
Mhm,
They took the metro, and she said the four of them, it took time because they were just
mhm,
trying to get to Versailles from some neighborhood area, and they're like, we don't know what we're doing, but they just sat and giggled. And it became
yeah.
part of, and then they had champagne after. Once they figured it out, they went to Versailles. And they went, we get to have champagne now and reward ourselves. That was part of the fun for them, and
Yeah.
it saved them money, doing that kind
It
of
is
thing.
fun, and I'll jump on the tube in London, but when I arrive at Heathrow, I don't all I if it's been a red eye flight, I'm not always in the mood or
Mhm.
have the energy to go take the train
Yeah,
to town, and I think, you know what, it's $60. I don't care. I'm doing it.
yeah,
Because I'm
yeah.
always with someone, so you split the cost. But so there are times, and there are times you just say, yeah, not today,
Mm.
not doing it today. So
But
everyone's different.
it's good to be aware. I think for women, if it's your first time traveling and you're doing it solo, you may want to do it just out of safety,
Yeah,
just out of, getting your bearings. If you've never been to a place,
agreed.
especially cities, you don't want to get lost in the wrong side of town at night,
No, and
you know?
it's fine once you're there and maybe you're thinking a little more clearly and you go, oh, okay, I know I need to get on at A and I'm getting off at B, and have that down. Check, the website Rome to Rio is great for checking directions. So, Google Maps and Apple Maps, those do the same thing as well. But just check ahead of time and know which tube station you getting on which direction, which one you
Mm,
want to get off at. And usually, a lot of these map apps will also tell you, because when you get off at, say you're at the Westminster station, that's not a good example, but a station in London,
mhm,
usually there will be like 3 exits. And you want to know which exit to go to, because otherwise it can make a big difference, because you may go under a street and come out on the other side and go, oh, my store is over here. I'm trying to get to Oxford Street. So follow all the
okay.
directions, not just, getting to a specific stop, but it should also say, follow the stairs up to
Okay.
street level on Oxford Street or whatever.
Hmm.
So
That's good. It's good points because you know what? Saving time can save you money too, because you don't want to be late for a show or something and then not be able to see it and lose the money of your
right,
tickets.
right.
So
Well,
all of that
and
is,
pad your time for everything. Just be early. It's fine. We
mhm,
can all amuse ourselves on our phones, or if you're with friends, you're going to sit and chat anyway.
yeah,
Don't cut it close. And especially if we're showing up for transfer or not transfer, showing up for tours. Tour buses will
yeah.
not wait for you. I don't care if you're on their list, and you're 10 minutes late. If they say they're leaving at 7:30, they're leaving at 7:30. Exactly.
Don't do it to your cruise ship either. When your cruise
No,
ship says it's leaving, it's leaving.
it's
You
leaving.
may have to learn how to run like I did.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be like that. Don't be that person.
Don't be that person. And I know
No,
that's what
no.
the next podcast should be.
Well,
Just don't be
yeah,
that
don't be
person. That's
that
a good
person.
one.
That's a good one.
I know. Actually, we should, I think we
Write that
should do
down.
that. That's going to be like a January show. Everybody's doing like New Year's resolutions. Don't be that person
Don't be that person.
who starts nagging
Um,
everybody else. Don't be that
yeah.
person. Oh, that's
Right.
going to be a fun show. I love that. Well, listen, great, great advice as always. Everyone go to heywannago.com and the link to Cheryl's article. This is really, she's got so many great tips, is in the episode notes. Thank you so much and happy
You're welcome.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you. It's coming right around the corner. So
We get to have pecan pie, right? See, I had to bring it back there. You're in Texas. Pecan pie is a big deal.
I love pecan pie.
Pecan, excuse me, not
Pecan.
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 Yeah.
Pecan. All right.
Yeah.
Pecan pie. Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Vacation Station Travel and Leisure Show, brought to you by Big Blend Magazines. Keep up with us at bigblendradio.com or blendradioandtv.com. Happy travels!